June. Oh!
Absolutely devastating.
He's actually in a really good spot for his teammate to watch over him and give him assistance, but no one really watching the main run-up. And oh, what a trophy system collateral kill!
Oh, they gotta get on the point. They gotta get on the point. They're gonna run out of time. Can they contest? They are with 1.4 seconds. And Phil is gonna go down. We are gonna be seeing him now. No, out of the point, and WaveRunners by the skin of their teeth are gonna be able to hold on.
Can he play from a horse? Oh, holy! He's gonna get another one.
As Hoy will quick scope heavy.
But it's gonna not necessarily translate.
To leave this town, cause lately I've been feeling down. The cold nights just don't feel the same. Oh, back my life inside a car, hit the button, drive real far, put that record on me like, I'm dreaming of you, I dream of a new night. Fighting the dark till we see the sunlight. My love, it's you and I. Close, close, and cool like this fire. So reach for the stars, cause we're aiming high. You can't wait to see me now, cause lately you've been feeling down. You lay awake alone at night. Oh, like your life inside a car. Forget the world and drive real far. Put that record on again. Oh, my love, it's you and I. Close, close, and cool like this fire. So reach for the stars.
That was disgusting. Oh my gosh. That was disgusting. Oh my god, June. Oh.
Absolutely
What is that?
devastating.
He's actually in a really good spot for his teammate to watch over him and give him assistance, but no one really watching the main run-up. And oh, what a trophy system collateral kill!
Oh, they gotta get on the point. They gotta get on the point. They're gonna run out of time. Can they contest? They are with 1.4 seconds. And Phil is gonna go down. We are gonna be seeing him now. No, out of the point, and WaveRunners by the skin of their teeth are gonna be able to hold on.
And he played from horse. Holy. He's gonna get another one.
As Hoy will quick scope heavy.
But it's gonna not necessarily translate to control for the bottom lane, as Legacy just being an absolute nuisance here with his team just getting such a back control here.
Team kill is gonna get hustled down to 2v2. They should have had the man up, and now Austin's gonna try to get one. He's gonna look for the double, can't quite get it. Zuxium, the last man alive, and now it's Zuxium trying to finish off the team. He's gonna stun him there, see one. One's gonna push out, it's gonna get taken out. Zuxium can finish it right here, 7 points left. Taking out another one more pushes out. He's gonna get taken out by teammates, and that's gonna be Hype Esport taking map number 1.
I see it now, I see it now.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the K7 preseason hype battle. My name is Macomb Meal, and that is Hunter Pendygraph, aka Shifty, and it is time for a beautiful matchup between WaveRunners and, of course, Living Nightmare. Shifty, how you doing tonight, baby?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I didn't realize my mic was unmuted. I guess I must have bumped it, but Streamline
That's
might have heard of
no,
me
that's good,
make a
dude.
little
No,
noise or something
nah,
like
bro,
that.
it's fine. You're good. That adds character.
I don't know.
It adds,
Yeah,
it
of
adds
course.
character. That's character. Welcome, everybody. As my lovely co-caster Corn here stated earlier, he is joined with Shifty. That is me, in case you can't read. Both teams coming in now. Very hotly contested match is what we have in front of us. As my beautiful, beautiful producer here, running everything behind the scenes. Connie, if you could throw up some roster graphics presented by DropShotStats, that'd be amazing, as I'm going to go over Living Nightmare's roster. First, we've got Nefarious, the captain, Gerard or Raw Dog Gerard, as well as King Quicks and Riptide J. I am unfamiliar with any of these players besides Raw Dog Gerard. We saw him in last year's K7 League, and he can be a force to be reckoned with if he gets going.
Oh, of course. And then on the opposition, for the side of WaveRunners, you've got Gazilli, June, Tar Heel, and B. Hayes. And one of the most important things we're going to touch on here, Shifty, is with this WaveRunners roster, they actually just had to split ways with their main AR player and then pick up a player of Gazilli to replace that main AR role. So the leader of the team, usually the one who's going to be kind of commandeering the entire roster throughout the entire map where all the players are going to be going, mainly being the one who calls out the most and being kind of that floor general, if you will, of the map. They had to part ways with that player. Now they're going to be searching for that very main structured role out of their teammates to see if he can maybe bring up the slack that we are now going to be missing with that main AR role. So it'll be interesting to see how this team plays with that lack of having a strong character in that main AR spot.
Yeah, it's definitely odd to see not only a teammate get replaced this early,
well,
with that team.
Shifty. Come on.
That's fair. That's fair. But the real thing that I find super odd about it is replacing the captain. That part,
true,
to me, definitely can cause some adverse effects on the team chemistry as a whole. But with that being said, let's throw it to our maps and modes real quick here, presented by GitGudHosts. As you take a look at it on your screen, we've got Hardpoint on Raid. So we've got Raid twice, and then why is the name of that map S&D and Hardpoint? Garrison, yes, that. And then Checkmate S&D for the map 5 should we need it. So little two-peat action twice in a row here, as we have the same maps in 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 respectively. So it'll be definitely good to see that sort of mirror matchup and see kind of how the momentum will swing, how each performs on each respective map. So it'll be definitely a good best of 5. We've got two teams here that apparently WaveRunners tends to be heavily favored. According to the Twitter poll, I believe it was 77% in favor of WaveRunners taking this best of 5. So I'm going to go with the opposite, and I want to see Living Nightmare put on a show.
Well, Shifty, you've always been one to not go with the crowd and take your talent to a different spot. One of the things that I do see out of Shifty quite often is that he has to be different. He can't be anything else than different. He can't go with the flow of the people. can't
Oh, yeah.
agree with them. He's got to have a
Dude,
different
what's the
opinion.
fun in being normal?
You know, I understand that, but at the same time, Shifty, you gotta understand at the same time that even though you might be a little bit different, you know, is it forced upon yourself to be that much different than somebody else? Are you trying to be too different to the point where it can be a little bit tacky?
Are you
Shifty.
are you trying to be my therapist right now?
You know,
oh my
Shifty,
God, Corn, a man of many talents.
I've got the notepad here. I've got my. I can cross my leg for you here if I need to. I can sit down.
Push your
and I can walk
glasses
you
up a
through
little
all
bit on your, a little bit more on your face.
If I had them around here somewhere, I would go ahead and put them on. But
Absolutely.
Shifty, it's time. That we have
Is
an
it go time?
intervention.
Is it
No,
go
it's
time
time
now?
for an intervention, Shifty. But
Is it? I think it's go time. I think it's.
I think it is go time. Yes.
I think it's go time. I think,
Indeed.
if I'm not mistaken, that I think Raid Hardpoint here is going to be loading up very, very soon, and I'm very excited to see this map. I absolutely love Raid.
As
It's a phenomenal
Call of
map.
Duty player,
Well, everyone should love it, and
They
we
should,
even went
yes.
over. We even went over the last stream. If you missed it, which by the way, that's super rude. You should be here every time. But as we talked about last time, if you remember, Corn, we talked about how this map is so good that they even put it in COD Mobile.
Yeah. I mean, COD. So I actually put out something on Twitter the other day too. I was asking about it, and I was like, okay, say hypothetically that instead of releasing a Call of Duty game every single year and having an annual cycle, what if we just had one game like COD Mobile for console and PC that would be able to have crossplay, have everything in it? At that point, I don't care how absurdly high the microtransaction prices could be if they're still trying to make that money that they would be losing from releasing it in an annual fashion. Just make cosmetics ridiculously expensive. People would still buy them. I'd be inclined to buy them. Plus, you get all the greatest maps, the greatest guns, the greatest movement from all the games together. You'd have, say, Infinity Ward working on Warzone. You'd have Treyarch working on the multiplayer and zombies aspect of things, and then also having Raven as an addition to help Infinity Ward with the Warzone and whatnot. And if they want to do anything creative elsewhere with whatever type of liberty that they have with a potential another studio like Sledgehammer Games, you could be able to have that same kind of passion as well. So it was a question that I kind of posed out to people. People actually seem to be extremely excited to see, you know, where that could potentially go if that were to ever happen. And,
Well,
I'd be interested to see what you kind of what.
And do you know? Well, so do you know a prime example of that? A prime example of that is Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike has been out forever, and they constantly add new flavors or new pieces in every update, and
Absolutely.
that tends to keep the community well endowed in that game. So I think that's something that I know, right? You like that? My vernacular is exquisite.
I might not know exactly what you mean because I myself might not be the most well endowed, but I'm sure if you stood up for the camera for the one time, then maybe we'd find out something differently for yourself.
But you know, you're totally right. It would be an interesting direction for Call of Duty to go in, and I don't know if they would ever do that, just because I think we've kind of gotten complacent with this sort of cycle that we have. But it would be really cool. One example of that, though, is have you ever heard of Call of Duty Online?
Yeah, I love Call of Duty Online. It sucked that it was only in China though. And
Yeah,
overseas,
yeah,
unless you
getting
had,
a
like,
VPN.
a weird botched code for it, or
Having a
anything like
VPN
that.
to connect to the
Exactly.
Chinese servers,
Then
and
your ping
then
was, like,
play the game
400.
play the game as a slideshow.
Yeah, it was. That's again. I love that you're bringing up those examples because they do show true to kind of that same kind of idealistic thing of how a Call of Duty game could work.
Dude,
if
it
they
was
could
so
release it
dope.
every
They
single
had an
year.
amalgamation
Yeah.
of all of the weapons,
Oh,
dude. They had
that's
like
what
the
I'm saying. It's like
intervention,
COD Mobile,
and
but, like,
yeah, bro.
with the legit scene of it.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. The intervention alongside the L96, like,
Yeah.
and reading the chat too. Rocket League is a good example. That's
Yeah, Rocket League
another
as
very
well.
good example.
Absolutely.
I mean, Overwatch is a good example. League of Legends, the games that
that
have been
too.
around for years and years and
Mhm.
years and years and have continued to amass this huge following. I mean, it would be interesting to see Call of Duty take that route. However, I think what that might do too, though, is potentially alienate your pubs players, though. Don't you think?
In a sense, yes, but at the same time, I feel like you would still be getting new content every single year. You'd still be getting new weapons potentially being put in the game. You'd be getting new customization options. And really, at the end of the day, your public match players or your regular, just casual player that hops on the game, you know, here and there, they're still going to be able to enjoy a lot of the things that are coming out because if you put all those studios together, you're still having the Warzone right alongside the actual Call of Duty game that's being played in the multiplayer side of things. And then you're also having those studios, whether they're working on zombies like Treyarch, or multiplayer Treyarch, or however they would end up divvying out the different types of subcategories
Right.
within the genre, you would end up getting a game to where it's still ever evolving and ever continuing. It's just the fact that it's going to be one game that comes out, and I feel like that would add not legitimacy to Call of Duty, because obviously Call of Duty has a very large base and an understanding of, okay, this
The
game
largest
every single
player
year.
base ever when
Exactly.
Warzone dropped for Modern Warfare. So
Yeah,
that was
I'm
crazy.
thinking more like the competitive side of things, because like
Oh,
you always
yeah.
hear people talking about like, oh, you're a Call of Duty kid, dude. It's literally the easiest game. But also at the same time, I don't think they understand that. I mean, they do understand, but they don't understand what it takes to be good at Call of Duty, because every single year a new game comes out. Obviously, that's just general
The
knowledge, but
adaptability.
exactly,
The
it's
adaptability is
adaptability
huge.
within it, between the different movement in the games, the different weapons, how different class systems are set up, because we can go from pick 10 to 1 year to a Warzone based customization option class for the next year. Then we go to a World War II type system where we have airborne and mountain and all those different types of classes without trophy systems, to where you spawn up with a semtex or a frag every single time and are able to just stun nade, just chuck everything at the
Yo,
hill.
quick little aside though. Do you remember triple frag? You remember the triple frag perk from COD 4?
I don't want to, but I do.
Dude, it was crazy. I remember what was the name of the map that was the boat? Wetwork. Yeah, Wetwork. You could literally spawn up on one side of Wetwork and throw 3 frags over and guarantee at least 2 kills every life. It was awesome. Modern Warfare Remastered was like one of my favorite games of all time. But
MWR was all right.
I liked it. I liked it a
I
lot.
will say the thing that I didn't like about MWR wasn't the game itself. It's the fact that that game released alongside Infinite Warfare, and I get it was because not a lot of people were going to enjoy and or buy Infinite Warfare without MWR being released alongside of it. So I understand why they did it. I just don't like that for an entire year we had a completely split community, to where it was like, okay, if you're playing the new game, you're playing the new game, but it was also technically another new game here. So you had your IW jetpack grinders, then you had your you had your boots on the ground grinders for those games. So basically, like, you know, CMG, for example, for a tournament site, just one of the most well-known ones, you had a bunch of players playing IW, a bunch of players playing MWR, and it just split the entire player base in half, to where you weren't getting nearly as many players for your S&D tournaments, whatever it may be. And I just don't think that does a good service for the community whatsoever, and I think it kind of brings back, again, that legitimacy that Call of Duty has as an esport.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I don't know if I agree. I agree with the base sentiment that it's not a good idea to divide your community, but I think at the same time it brings in new faces, because you did have that choice. You did have that choice to play a boots on the ground game versus a jetpacking game. Granted, I think the numbers speak for themselves. You're totally right that there was a much lower amount of competitive play, I think, due to both games. But with that being said, holy cow, where are we at, by the way?
I'm not exactly sure when we're going to be getting into this game, to be honest.
I know, I lied to the viewers. I told them it was time.
You know, folks, on behalf of Shifty, I do apologize.
Thank you for apologizing for me.
In the play, we're gonna hashtag blame Vic in the chat.
Yeah,
and,
blame
go from
Vic,
there,
VIK at hashtag blame Vic. In fact, you know what? While we're talking about it, I'm gonna.
You know what? I got you.
Nobody's gonna understand it. Nobody's gonna understand it until about 15 seconds after that. When.
But what I will say real quick, Shifty, is I think it's time that we go ahead and break down this raid Hardpoint. So, folks, if you've never heard of Hardpoint before, you've never seen Hardpoint, you never played Hardpoint,
please
basically
describe
the way
it.
it works. Basically, the way it works is 2 teams face off, 4 versus 4 in this sense, and there's 4 to 5 different hard points around the map that teams will try to take control of. 60 seconds for each of the hills, and there will be rotations between each of those hard points to accrue as many points as possible before the timer runs out, or to get to the main objective time and pointage of 250 points inside of the game. So essentially what you'll most likely see is you'll see 2 to 3 rotations of hard points around the map, depending on how long the game goes on. But again, you're trying to accrue 250 points for your team by getting inside of the hill, and every 1 second that passes while your team has full control of the hill and there's no contest between the both teams, you will be getting 1 point per each second, and that will accrue to 250 seconds. So essentially 250 points equals to 250 seconds of real time, and that will be how you win the game. But specifically talking about raid here, Shifty, what can we expect here as map number 1 kind of starts to play out here in a few minutes, hopefully?
I think it's a map that draws a dichotomy of play styles. It reminds me very similarly to, and not in the way the map is laid out, but the way the map plays. believe it or not, it reminds me a lot of St. Petro Hardpoint. You've got a lot of some of your longer sight lines over towards the pool side, which means that your ARs are really going to flourish over out in that area. And then you've got some much more closely knit hard points like the Money Hill and the backside. What is the the statue, the statue. The statue hill.
Okay.
So that'll also we'll see the sub players start to wreak some havoc in that general area. So I think it draws a play style where you have to have talented role players for your team to be able to make anything happen on a map like Raid, because everyone has been playing it for so long. Everyone understands how the flow of the map goes. And with Cold War in general being very similar in movement to the game that map actually came out on in Black Ops 2, it's something that I think we see a lot of people who even the ones who aren't super experienced in playing Cold War will still play very well on this map. So with the experience that a lot of players have, I think that's the biggest thing is really outplaying your team or really outplaying your opponent.
You know, one of the things I do love about Raid, too, is the fact that it did come out back in Black Ops 2. And although that doesn't seem like, a whole long lot of time for a lot of veteran players, because we feel like Black Ops 2 was just yesterday in the back of our minds, players that have came in after Black Ops 2, the young players that are around, 16, 15, the players that are just getting their feet wet inside of the competitive scene and really starting to flourish as young competitive players, for them it's going to be a little bit harder in that sense to kind of get their footing inside of a map like Raid, especially when there's not going to be a lot of people there to teach you, because at this point you're kind of expected to know and have map knowledge about Raid specifically, especially since it's been in the pool for so many years. So,
should have played COD Mobile.
I do agree with that. Shifty. Plug that controller into your iOS device. Just chuck on the stick.
Should have played COD Mobile, dude. If you'd have played COD Mobile, you'd know everything about that map.
I'm on forehead. But
yeah, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me right now? Are you talking to you?
you want to kiss?
I mean, you can't put me on the spot like that.
I mean,
we're waiting on one more player, guys. One more player from Living Nightmare.
Chad, you want to kiss?
Do it. Kiss the mic. You won't. Oh, there it is. Oh, that was a loud one, bro. I couldn't even see it. All I could do was hear it. Gross.
It's like I came through the mic and kissed you right on the cheek.
Right on the cheek. Hey, hell yeah. We have 10 players now. That is a good sign. Solid. Now we're waiting on the map to get changed up again. It is going to be Raid Hardpoint coming in first map, and we apologize for the delay. You know how this goes.
How does it go?
A lot like this. A lot of waiting. Hunter, what's it like to be a caster? Well, you sit around and talk for 2 hours, and only 45 minutes of it is actual gameplay.
Yeah, and then you always have your DMs full of saying casters start game, and it's like, that's not how it works, but good try.
Yeah,
Thanks.
right.
Thanks, dude.
Cole,
Hashtag
don't expose me like that. Cole, don't expose me like that.
Oh, I die inside when my teammates ask me how to play Raid. See, I'm telling you, dude, it's one of those things, man. It's like, where we've had such a, what has it been? Almost 7-8 years since Black Ops 2 was out.
Yeah.
We're in a completely new game, and all of a sudden it's just, wow.
Wow, he said. It's just wow. I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm just so overwhelmed with how long Call of Duty has been out.
Dude, it's kind of crazy. Did you see?
It is.
Okay, this is completely off topic from the match, but did you see the new poster today for the new Zombies map that's coming out on February 4th?
No.
Virus Z. Oh, dude, Samantha's in there.
I don't play zombies, so.
Toffin's in there. I'm sorry. It's just, like I said, off track, but.
I don't play zombies normally.
Doctor.
Why though? I'm all good with the why though? Truthful, serious question.
Okay.
So, when you move quickly, does your brain rattle around? Can you hear it, or does it hurt?
Oh, so what are you talking about in the sense of moving quickly? Do you mean sprinting? Do you mean just shaking, or
whatever noise you just made? Yeah, that one. Absolutely.
I also made some movements as well. I mean,
Basically, what I'm trying to say
If I
is
move my
that
head
your
like
head's
that,
full
then,
of
like-
hot air.
So heat rises
It does.
and cold
This is-
air falls.
This has been Science with Corn and Shifty.
I'm Corn Nye.
Corn Nye,
Mm-hmm.
the science guy.
No.
Science rules. Corn.
This guy in chat thinks I'm blazed right now, Shifty. What is happening? This is
Weird.
ridiculous.
We
I won't stand
we
for
want to
this.
start.
First and foremost, I do not condone the use of any type of narcotics or anything like that. That is, first and foremost, the most important thing to emphasize here, especially when somebody is coming at me with such
Big doinks out in Amish. Oh my god.
Oh, as
right,
much as
hang
I
on.
want to throw this to a break real quick and say we're going to be back here in a second while the lobby gets set up, I know the second that I want to throw it to a break, it's going to be ready and we're going to get into the game. So
They're
Shifty, I'm gonna
they're
leave
about
this,
to make
this
me
choice
eagle
onto
call,
you.
bro.
Oh,
They're about to make me eagle call.
not
I
again, dude.
gotta regain.
All right, folks. Well, dude, I promise you, the second we say we're going to go to a break, I promise you it's gonna
I
stop.
know. That's what I'm afraid of. Maybe. Yes, no. Oh, I thought we were starting it there for a
All
brief
right.
moment. I got very
Folks, we're
excited.
going to go ahead and throw it to a quick break. We're going to be back here for the K7 preseason hype battle. My name's McCormiel. That is Shifty. We'll be back in just a couple of seconds. Oh my god, no shot. No shot. Oh my god.
Hey, the map is loading up.
Did I
yes.
call or did I call?
You are a future seer, my friend. As soon as he said that,
I've got my
the
crystal
match
balls.
did get started. Did you say like with an S?
No.
Oh, okay. I just swore that you said like plural.
What you think?
Anyways, here on the garage side, we are looking at Living Nightmare here, Nefarious on your screen, as we are going to watch the initial push for Hardpoint number 1 here on this statue. Some nades go over from the side of WaveRunners, but nothing doing quite yet. Both teams on the Hardpoint right now, trying to turn and burn. Was one player from Living Nightmare, but nothing doing as WaveRunners finally putting some points up on the board, getting matched by a couple points, maybe a couple, now just one from the side of Living Nightmare.
Interesting to see thus far. Nobody from the side of Living Nightmare has really tried to make a rotation over towards the laundry side to get those back spawns. But players number 2 and 5 in the kitchen are actually just going to fly right past each other. Player number 5 turns around. Tar Heel should be able to go ahead and find the heels of Jay here, but as now it is going to be an opportunity for the side of Living Nightmare to go ahead and potentially find themselves those rotational spawns. It's now inside the point. They're going to be able to get the last 14 seconds of scrap around there, pushing through middle map. Now WaveRunners an opportunity to break in towards the front, but Living Nightmare, they play their cards right. They get the scrap time and they get the rotations over towards P2, at least for the time being.
Well, and we know how important those early rotations are, provided you have the slaying power to match the manpower movement that you are committing to. As right now you see June on your screen. He is trying to hold down this hard point. Number 7 for the side of WaveRunners is we have Hoyas getting a big kill there. Tar Heel will drop to Nefarious. Pinstripe kill feed as of current. As we see the wall bang 2-piece from Hoyas right there is WaveRunners now tearing into the spawn of Living Nightmare. They need to get something going if you are the side of LNG right now. WaveRunners beginning to run away with this, and then they've doubled up the score and some change there as we're now going to see the rotation for P3.
Yeah, a lot of other maps, you'll see teams start to push, those last scrap times maybe start to waver off their push around 20, 25 seconds. On this map specifically, though, around 25 to 30 seconds, you need to be making sure you're rotating over towards the garage for that next point, especially if you don't have those sides of kitchen spawns. So now an opportunity for Living Nightmare to go ahead and rack up their own amount of time here on that side. WaveRunners got a full 60 over towards kitchen after their quick break with 5 seconds into that point. Now an opportunity once again for them to not only push out towards middle map, but also push WaveRunners deeper into that middle spawn. So pushing up now, Gazilli on your screen, looking for a couple of shots through the front. An opportunity now to fly around the side. Tar Heel finds 2. A 2 streak now will fall. Now Tar Heel continuing to fly through. This is going to be an opportunity for WaveRunners. Oh, this is annoying. Living Nightmare have had opportunities to hold down both of the last 2 points, and WaveRunners have broken them in the last.
I know. We've been looking at the same thing there because I was just wondering. I was getting ready to say that I thought Living Nightmare had a good opportunity there to steal some of the last final seconds on P3, but nothing doing. As again, we see Living Nightmare go for the early rotation, but it's a tale of not having the slaying power in and around that hill as of current, but looking primed and ready to bring this game back is Living Nightmare. They've now cut it to 30 essentially. 62 to 88 now, as we've got Hoyas on your screen waiting to try and break with his teammates from the front side. Will get one kill as June, as Hoyas and the rest of that WaveRunner squad will now eat up some time here in the hard point. They need to be afraid of the flank from J-Tide. Nice heads-up play from Gazilli to cut him down.
Towards the back of Nefarious will get gunned by Gazilli once again. So to your point as beforehand, he was able to find 2 to stop the flank from coming through from Living Nightmare, able to pick back up and find 3. Now goes an opportunity for the player over towards that basketball head glitch to go ahead and get gunned as Tar Heel finds 2. Gazilli's got 3 to his name, and that's a 5 streak between the both of those 2 players. Flying back towards middle map now, it's the side of WaveRunners who have that first man push all the way up in towards P5. The ring head glitch is very important on this map as water stairs control. However, Living Nightmare now are going to be on their back heels as the side of WaveRunners have pushed up to the middle map and do have control of both of the power positions.
Oh my goodness, look at the kills flying in favor of WaveRunners here. Living Nightmare answering back with a 5 kill streak, make it 6 between 2 players as now they hold the center of the map. And again, you know how important this is going to be, not only as the person in the hill, but as the teammates as well, trying to watch those long sight lines. Nice shots from J-Tide. Tries to make it a 2-piece, but Gazilli will push in with the pistol and put him down, assuring his multi-kill and the hill for at least this brief moment.
Rocking the World Champ camo. We saw that multiple times on the TL as the champions of the Call of Duty.
Nice shots.
Dallas Empire looking to go ahead and have their own camo into the game. Gazilli was almost able to find the second, but you saw the pinch play there from Living Nightmare. A couple came through that middle pillars area as well as that bottom south part of the map, where we see that water stairs push. But as we get ready to rotate back over towards P1, about a 60-second lead for the side of WaveRunners is going to give them an opportunity here to go ahead and potentially extend this lead just a tad bit more. But as you see, like 3
look at the
players
control,
from the
though.
side of WaveRunners spawn over by basketball court. This is going to be extremely easy for Living Nightmare to find a couple, and as J-Tide picks up 2, his teammates can go ahead and find the rest of the kills as they flush on through.
Really great job from Living Nightmare there to not only early rotate, but to position themselves for the next wave of spawns from WaveRunners, as Hoya's very, very wisely waiting up in the window for the rest of his teammates to spawn. June directly behind that door, thanks to the caster vision, as J-Tide will get caught with his pants down, trying to turn around. Unfortunately, 180ing at just the wrong moment, as Quicks will die to a swarm of WaveRunners, as now they're trying to break the hill. Last alive is Nefarious, and he was able to pick up 2, but June with the flanky flank, as now WaveRunners will control at least a little bit of this. It looks like they will opt to go for that last 15 seconds of scrap time, as again, we rotate to P2 for the second time. And Living Nightmare, again, looking in pretty good position here at the start anyways.
This is what I was very scared of for the side of Living Nightmares. Last time we saw them get broken into within the first 5 to 10 seconds of this kitchen hill. This time, they hold down the back spawn push. They make sure nobody from the side of WaveRunners is starting to come through laundry. And I love this WaveRunners push, though, because they are starting to wait for their players to get up to the map before they make this push through the front door. Instead of challenging one by one, they get through the front door. They find 2, they find 3. The last one will fall, and now they have full control of the kitchen hill. 20 seconds is all it took for the side of WaveRunners to push through, find the back spawns, as well as all of control of that kitchen hardpoint. Now it's going to be about turning back around towards middle map as J-Tide falls in the back, and they're just going to be looking through the front kitchen door, and now it's looking at their turn once again to be on that backside rotational spawn point over towards the garage, and maybe go ahead and find themselves some time, but oh, they're in a really bad spot after losing this, and we saw how quickly they lost the last one, too, when they rotated over towards garage shifting.
Well, and one thing that we're noticing here, too, is that 2 players from Living Nightmare are carrying the slaying numbers for the side of LNG, is 20 and 14 and 24 and 12 respectively for Quicks and Gerard, as this hardpoint will pop, and it looks to me like Living Nightmare will have the initial control. WaveRunners trying to push and assert some dominance towards middle. Gazilli will get that with a first opening kill. June will die as well to Quicks. Now Tar Heel will drop as well. Nice job from J-Tide and the rest of the Living Nightmare squad to play very passively here and let the WaveRunners walk into their sights. Phenomenal job here, but can they hold on, as they're very close to bringing this game back and will actually take the lead by 1 second if they're able to hold it, but WaveRunners will stop it right there in its tracks. Huge 2-piece from June.
June finds 2. Teammates also find 2. And once again, Shifty, we talked about the WaveRunners and their ability to break over towards these points every single time. Tar Heel on an island right now, waiting for his teammate and player number 8 and Hayes to go ahead and push up behind him to bring those reinforcements all the way to the mouth of this hold for the side of Living Nightmare over towards this basketball hard point. As Gizilli gets through the back, he was able to find one, slides out, isn't able to find the second, so full spawn control for Living Nightmare. However, the pool push from WaveRunners now commences, and they've got themselves an opportunity to get inside of the hill. However, it's a very difficult, Shifty, to break through the pool side on this point. You've got to get control of Kitchen and be able to push out for that head glitch there, but more importantly, at least cut down the side of Living Nightmare's spawn directly close to that staircase in the back and force spawn them out over towards Laundry, which is exactly what happens now as players 1, 2, and 4 from Living Nightmare all spawn up towards Laundry, and WaveRunners with 40 seconds left in the hill push up, break once again. God damn it, this is annoying to watch.
Yes, it is. WaveRunners too strong on the front entry, and we're seeing it played so well. How did you say it? Hayes? Is it Hayes or Hoyas? Is it?
I said Hayes because I'm not sure if it's Hoyas or Hayes.
I'm saying Hoyas. I'm saying Hoyas.
I'll rock it with you. Hoyas.
Hoyas and Gazilli there did a phenomenal job two-piecing that hard point there as they were able to break up high and down low, as we saw Gazilli get one more kill on your screen there before we switched over. June will now have the initial control for WaveRunners. It is do or die time for Living Nightmare. They're running out of resources. Here is 242 and counting. They're very, very close to losing this first map. A flank from Gerard. It might be too late. It is. The WaveRunners will finish this map 250 to 177. What a great start from the WaveRunners.
And that map was simply just the side of Living Nightmare not being able to hold down either spawns or a point throughout the entire duration of it, or at least the majority of the time. It doesn't have to be a full 60 every time, but at least 30 seconds, 40 to 20 against the other team. If you split the time, it's fine. If you get 40 to 20, it's so much better. But Shifty, it's keep playing in the back of my mind. Living Nightmare had rotated over to Kitchen, and then Gym, and then Basketball Court 3 times in a row. We saw that in back-to-back rotations for both of these two teams, and then WaveRunners were able to just break on through the front. And at the end of the day, scrap time's not going to cut it. You're getting scrap time at the beginning of the point, while the side of WaveRunners are getting the full 40 seconds of time after the fact, when they didn't even have the spawns to begin with. Simply outslayed, outclassed, and outperformed in that map number 1, even though the score was a lot closer than you might expect in a blowout victory for a team that wasn't able to hold down rotations. The only reason they were able to get that much time anyways is because they were rotating early, and they were just getting like, what, 15 to 20 seconds every time. Eventually that's going to add up a little bit, and if you get a little bit more time on a hill, congratulations. But unfortunately, they're just not able to come away with anything substantial throughout the entirety of that match, and I'm going to need to see that change here in map number 2.
Absolutely. We know that S&D is the game mode that a lot of teams both live and die on, so we'll want to see the team of Living Nightmare come back and show a little bit of fire here on Garrison S&D. I'm very, very excited to see how they come out swinging, or will WaveRunners be able to just continue the wave that they're running on? Will they take a humongous victory akin to map number 1? And again, you're totally right. Yes, the score was a lot closer than we would have expected it to be had you seen the scoreboards. But that boils down to exactly what you were talking about. They were playing so much for that scrap time that really and truly 177 seconds, almost all of it was made up from controlling either the first or last 15 seconds of each hill. So definitely something that we don't want to see in the following hard point should we have one. But as of current, if you missed the end of map number 1, WaveRunners did take it 250 to 177, putting Living Nightmare down at an 0-1 deficit, and definitely hurting my hopes for the underdog victory.
Well, Shifty, as we kind of shift our thoughts and our now focus over towards map number 2, we're going to be talking about Garrison for the Search and Destroy. And Garrison's a map that personally I'm not a huge fan of on this game, specifically for the Search and Destroy. For Hardpoint and for Control as well, it can
I actually really like it for Hardpoint.
But for Search and Destroy specifically, I find it to be one of the least compelling, if not the least compelling map in that mode combination. So what I mean by that isn't the fact that it's necessarily a bad map or poorly designed map. It's the fact that in Search and Destroy, there's not a lot of variability that you have on your offensive pushes.
It's very
get over
clunky.
towards A or B. It is. The
It's a
problem
very
with it
clunky
it's
map,
basically,
yeah.
the way I kind of describe it is it's like a lane and a half map, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that
So
makes
essentially
total sense to me.
You have like your entire mid lane where you have the 2 tanks, you have that drop down below hand, and you have your mid map. Then the half of the lanes basically consist of the ability to go through vent into dark and then play all the way towards those back P3 spawns, and then out towards satellite if you're pushing from green on the offensive side. And especially with the GAs that have come out now, where there's not a lot of smokes allowed anymore in respawn. Folks, if you haven't, okay, so let me explain GAs real quick for people who aren't interested or haven't heard of GAs before. Essentially what GAs are they are gentlemen's agreements. And essentially what that is the pro players and the top amateur players alike get together. They find out what is the most broken things inside of the game and what makes the game just completely unplayable. If something is completely overpowered or something is not or is performing way higher than it should be, they'll either GA a specific weapon, GA a specific attachment, or specific perks, lethals, tacticals, you name it, they can be GA'd, and the gentleman agreement will be to not use those weapons and or things against one another inside of a map. So for example, now in Search and Destroy, if they are going to be following gentlemen's agreements inside of this game, inside of this match, there's not going to be any snipers or smokes allowed inside of the Search and Destroy because of their current state within the game. So we are going to potentially be seeing a lot more heavy dominant pushes from the offensive and defensive sides. However, this map, again, it is a lot slower if you're on the defensive side. You're just looking for a pick like every Search and Destroy game, but on Garrison, it just matters that much more.
Absolutely. Definitely a very two-sided map, to say the least, as the defense, again, very difficult to play aggressively. Tar Heel making me eat my words very quickly, though, as he immediately gets into the underground little cubby. He does. The bomb carrier is up to his left. That is Nefarious for the side of Living Nightmare, getting a little ballsy there, Quicks, as he tries to peek out up towards middle, and he did see the head of at least one member of WaveRunners, as you see June here dancing back and forth. Same thing with Tar Heel. Very stagnant so far, as we're waiting to see that first pick come in, and then we'll see, there it is, Gerard getting the first pick, and I believe that was over towards the B side, but Nefarious immediately getting traded off. 3-3, bomb is down, and we need to get this planted.
Tar Heel. I'm not liking the way he's playing Vent. The Vent play he has right now is very ballsy in the sense that he's not playing back over towards that right side a little bit more, because if a player drops down through dark into the Vent, you can see the shadow along the wall there in order to go ahead and then give yourself some information and pre-fire the player that might be pushing through there. However, double jump out over towards this A site is going to allow things to now go ahead and find themselves in a 2 versus 2. I love the bait and switch there, and now as one player turns around to watch a potential flank from green, Gazilli's going to get some great timing here onto the player planting the bomb, so now a 1 versus 2 won't matter. WaveRunners will take the round 1-0 over the side of Living Nightmare and continue that wave into the Search and Destroy.
Absolutely. Great job there from WaveRunners. As again, we talked about how difficult that offensive side can be on this map. We saw that firsthand. Is this map very similar to some of the maps that we saw in Modern Warfare, where it's not uncommon for an offensive team to not plant the bomb hardly at all. So ends up playing a lot more kill focused, as we see WaveRunners splitting off here, 2 to the left, 1 in the middle, 1 to the right, as they're trying to cover all angles. Here is Tar Heel. He loves that vent spot. He's hitting it from the offensive side as well.
And he's going to be able to have a very fortunate round here in bottom vent, because normally the team on the defensive side will send one over towards vent. However, Tar Heel's now with the opportunity to go ahead and maybe push out and get some information on a player that's playing in square or bricks, but Tide gets some great shots onto Gazilli, and we'll find that first kill. So the defensive team, defensive side, gets that first blood here in the round. They give themselves a 4-3 advantage.
Oh my God.
And now it's going to be an opportunity for them to go ahead and extend that even further. June in the lonely 1 versus 4 now has to make this work. It's going to be extremely impossible for him, or very improbable, I should say, because nothing's impossible, but to clutch a 1 versus 4 on a map like Garrison, you've got to be able to play this perfectly by yourself, especially since the defensive side is just going to play their trades.
Well, I mean, you just saw it there. One of the members from Living Nightmare had to have seen June cross. Gerard now smelling blood in the water, going to try and pick him off, will do it. His Living Nightmare will even up the round count, and I think we will see the team that ends up being able to win an offense here will be the team that takes the victory. So we will see if that holds true, as again, J-Tide really nice shots there in your best play of the round. Flipping sides again here. WaveRunners back on the defensive side. Let's see if Nefarious takes this bomb back over towards the B side for a second time here for Living Nightmare.
Middle map push. Living Nightmare looking to go ahead and once again fly over
Ooh,
towards
very
that B
quick
site.
here.
As Quicks goes ahead and flies up the map, he's going to be able to get those first shots onto June. So now with 4 versus 3 on the offensive side of things, with Tarkey on the middle map, should be able to get traded out. No, it's Gazilli who gets traded out, but they know that one more player is left in towards middle map, and that's Quicks with a quick drop down onto that player to now make it a 1 versus 3. WaveRunners, they won map number 1, and they won round number 1 here in the Search and Destroy, but have been outbested thus far in the last 2 rounds of the Search and Destroy. Once again happens there. 2-1 Living Nightmare up in the Search, and Shifty, when we talk about Search and Destroy compared to the Hardpoint, again, you were talking about it. You said it's a map that teams live and die by, and that couldn't be more true, especially since it's one of those game modes that has been iconic to Search and Destroy throughout the entirety of its existence as a competitive esport. Hardpoint, Control, they are interchangeable modes. A more or less Control, the only one being interchangeable, as we've seen Hardpoint continue to be a staple for the last 5 to 6 years. However, that wasn't always the case in Call of Duty and competitive scenes. So, as Search and Destroy has always been that mode that we will reliably fall back on as a second game mode compared to a respawn mode. It's again, you live, you die by it. It's
well, and so many people are familiar with it too. I mean, Search and Destroy is one of the game modes that you really don't have to have a whole lot of cohesion to be decent at, because everybody knows how to play S&D. Everyone knows how to call out where you're at and what you're looking at, and a lot of things like that are very important. As Gazilli, no need for call-outs there as he pieces Nefarious around the corner. J-Tide very wisely backing up from a gunfight where Gazilli had the advantage there as Tar Heel up high. Again, bomb very stagnant towards the right half of the map as they're trying to get another entry kill over towards the B site here potentially. It's 46 seconds and ticking down on the clock as Gazilli will snag a second kill here in the round. Doing a great job. Quicks will be able to trade it out. Very nice positioning there as Hoyas will take down Gerard. Quicks very wisely getting out of dodge as this bomb will definitely go down at B.
1 versus 3. Has to get the kills and retake that site unless he goes for the ninja. Shots in the middle. Won't be able to connect. WaveRunners take a round here. Tie things up at 2 apiece. And that's a round that you love.
We just saw 2 offensive trades, BT Dubs.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that's what I was about to pick up on. Yeah, you see WaveRunners are able to go ahead and take their first offense of the game, and even though they do tie things up at 2-2 here, is that going to be where we see things now start to switch tides for both of these two teams? Obviously, we've both seen an offensive round win for both of these two teams, so is it going to be now, okay, if you're on the defensive side, you know what you did on the offensive side, now can you counteract that because your opponent will most likely make those same pushes, or is it going to be something to where you have to make a little bit more of an adjustment here and where you're going to be playing off of the rip on the defensive side of things, especially now that we're seeing a player like Tar Heel playing in towards the vent? Is that going to be a very advantageous spot? Is it going to be a June being able to win that one-on-one gunfight against the top? I mean, everything really does come down to those one-on-one gunfights in Search and Destroy, and especially getting those trades. But as Quicks finds one here, this is going to be a great offensive push once again for the side of Living Nightmare. I was about to say legit Nightmare. Living Nightmare, as they can go ahead and bring this over towards B. One player's going to stay over towards A, and now a shot over towards another one here. This is going to be extremely easy for them to get some pressure.
My God, Quicks is absolutely pressing the WaveRunners right now. He's been playing very aggressively towards these middle steps and getting the first blood on at least 2 of the last 4 rounds. He was able to get another one there onto Gazilli, as now Nefarious has picked up his position as they begin to push over towards A. We're going to see potentially the first A plant here as 2 trades will fly in respectively, 1 per team, as there's now 3v2, and that bomb going to work its way over towards A. Look at the pinch from WaveRunners, though. This could be huge. June will get him off of the bomb, as now the pinch is in effect. Tar Heel's on the backside. He's trying to stay alive. Quicks is with him. He's bouncing back and forth. He needs to get this bomb down. Definite advantage to Tar Heel, as now he can push over towards the bomb. He has to know he's planning. He will miss the shots initially, but finish him off. Great job there from Tar Heel, and what a great 2v3 retake from WaveRunners.
Yeah, initially when June had that back position over towards the defensive side spawn, I thought that it was going to be Quicks who was going to be able to pick off that player in June before he could get the player off of the bomb that was planting over towards that A site. However, the bomb was able to get picked off. Then it was a 2 versus 2. The trade came immediately after the fact, and then that quick flank there from the side of the WaveRunners was able to not only get that player off of bomb once again, but he played his life, was able to just sit calmly, coolly, collectedly, and wait until those last couple of seconds came through. Had to push over towards A because he knew knew the player couldn't wrap all the way over towards the B-bomb to get it down in time. Love that play. Veteran search and destroy plays right there from the side of WaveRunners, and that's why they're up 3-2 right now here after winning 2 rounds in a row.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a 400 IQ play from June there, waiting for just the right moment to get the bomb down. I'm sure he was working directly in tandem with Tar Heel there, as he was like, all right, I'm on the backside of A. We can push now, as we're seeing Tar Heel change up his positioning here a little bit as he's waiting for maybe one player from Living Nightmare to get a little cheeky. Try and poke out, as Gazilli playing very aggressive here again, as Quicks will fall to the shots from Gazilli. Great job from him, as J-Tide will trade one off. Now 3 apiece, as the bomb will go down in a precarious position. June dropping it basically right in the middle of the map. This has to be a win for Living Nightmare.
Well, especially with the way that they're playing now, they have the ability to get trades at every single angle, no matter where they're going to be pushing from. If green player would have died there, the bridge would have been able to find the trade, and the player in bricks would have been able to either fly around through satellite side to find the player, or everything rotate back over towards middle map. So a great opportunity there for themselves to go ahead and find that round win. But, you know, even though that bomb does go down, this game specifically is very weird with Search and Destroy, because the bomb is so incredibly small that you have to really be looking for it after you go ahead and find a player. A lot of the times when playing Search and Destroy this year, teams will just go ahead and kind of ill afford to push over towards a dead body, because you don't know if there's going to be one there for the trade. And the bomb is just so small that in past Call of Duties, you've been able to see and look over towards the body and be like, oh, it's a big shiny briefcase. Oh,
yeah, right. Yeah, from all the way across the map.
Just like a tiny little C4 like you see in like CSGO. So a bit different this year, and you know, it kind of differently plays into a lot of team strategies in that regard.
Variety is the spice of life, my friend. Is Hoyas on your screen will take the first blood. 4-3, putting the numbers immediately in favor of WaveRunners, as 2 more will drop. One of those to Hoyas, the other to Tar Heel. Nefarious able to trade one off, though. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. 1v3. He will not be able to do anything. WaveRunners taking another round here, and it's been a very back and forth S&D. We'll see who can squeak it out here in the next 3 rounds.
We'll see the best play here once again. AR play there from Hoyas is going to be able to not only give his teammates
nice shots, though.
Really start to give them a little
that's a hard head glitch, dude.
It really is.
That's a hard head glitch, dude. That he made that look easy.
Yeah, no,
wow.
The tank heady is extremely hard to peel off of. And, you know, Shifty, it's one of those things, too, to kind of point out here. You know, Garrison S&D, although it's a map that one team can be just flat out better than the other, it's going to be close a majority of the time because of how the offensive and defensive sides play out against one another. If you can play on the defensive side and wait for those trades and just play extremely passive until that team starts to push up a little bit, and just, again, make sure you get that first pick, your team is going to be completely fine. However, this time I'm loving the play here from WaveRunners. They're going to send 4 out this doorway here, and this actually happened to me last night when I was playing an S&D game on this map specifically. They sent 4 over towards that A site, and now with an opportunity to go ahead and get this bomb down over towards the A site. Living Nightmare actually make this a little bit more manageable in a 2 versus 2. They trade out a few kills, and now in a 1 versus 2, Hoyas is going to have to clutch up here with an opportunity now to put them up at match point or fall to a 4-4 disadvantage.
Oh my god, the cat and mouse game! Quicks, too talented. Playing Ring Around the Rosie there as he hops up over the box and was able to finish that off. Is again on your best play here. We will see him kill Tar Heel, and also probably Hoyas. Nice heads up play there to peek around the corner. As Hoyas pretty much stuck there. Very, very nice play from Quicks. He made that look a lot easier than that really is, especially in the heat of the moment, having to make those plays. Very, very heads up play from the man, the myth, the legend, Quicks himself, who is now 7-5. Really, really paving the way for his team here.
I don't know if I would say that's the better play. I would just say that he was able to hop up on the box first, and that gave him the uphand advantage in the camera angle because of the other player hopping up onto the box. I would say that was a very fortunate situation there for
that's
Quicks,
true.
because neither of those players knew exactly where the other player was. They had kind of a general idea of where they were in the vicinity. However, they just didn't know exactly where they were. WaveRunners, though, on the defensive side here, they play 2 over towards the square side and by bricks. The other one playing towards that back spawn, and as Nefarious takes down Tar Heel inside of the vent. Again, that over-aggression in the vent gets him killed. That's about the 3rd time this game in the vent that he's been killed from being overtly aggressive inside of that vent. So now, on the defensive side, we see WaveRunners playing stout, standing tall. Living Nightmare, though, have the advantage that they've gotten that first pick, and they have vent control as well if they want to go ahead and push through this.
While playing very aggressively is either a win or lose game, as how did Gazilli not get that kill? J-Tide too strong with the AK. he'll be able to put him away. Nice angle there from June as he will take out the toes of Nefarious. He's got a teammate to his left and another enemy to his right now, trying to play his trade off as June got 3 members in his direct vicinity. Will be able to take out one. That's J-Tide. The bomb has been planted, though. Time is ticking down. As Quicks here, really all they have to do is play very passively here as Hoyas will drop. That's not spelling good things for WaveRunners, as June was able to win a big gunfight there, 1v1, but he's got to defuse the bomb too. He's running out of time.
Oh, he doesn't see him to his left. He's going to find the shots, but no, Living Nightmare able to stay there. The player that's still alive clutches up in the 1 versus 1 scenario. Living Nightmare now put themselves at match point after being down 3-4 against the side of the WaveRunners, looking to go ahead, not only tie the series up at 1-1, but find themselves with a little bit of momentum after the hardpoint did not go their way whatsoever. They looked discombobulated in the respawn here in the search and destroy, though. They have looked fantastic these last 3 rounds.
By the way, Discombobulated is a really, really good song on side B of Music to Be Murdered By. If you haven't listened to that, you should go listen to that. It's pretty good.
I might go give it a little
It's a little jingle. By the way, June tripled his kills in that round alone. He was 1-7 until now. So hats off to June there for getting up on the board and bringing himself up a little bit. If anything, better for morale though. At least, I mean, it's never good to drop a breadstick. As Gazilli, he's not dropping a breadstick. He's got 7 kills, picked up one of them there for the first blood in this round as June taking the bomb again towards B. And you're a lot more familiar with this game than I am, as B tends to be the favored site on this map.
Oh, yeah, no. And so the reason oh, wow, Tar Heel.
Yeah,
I guess that aggression is going to pay off for him here. Is Gazilli is able to go ahead with the quick reflexes and reaction to go ahead and find himself.
We're going to have a round 11.
Ability to stay alive. And it's possible, but Raw Dog Gerard actually has an opportunity here because that yellow or that red barrel over towards the right can blow up that player that's planting the bomb. However, you were correct, 5-5. But I will say, the B site, the reason it's so important to be having some control for the offensive side and why it's preferred over A is because the gunfight from top green all the way out to satellite is one of the hardest gunfights in this game, because the players that are playing through satellite, they see you before you can see them when you're making that push out, and especially with those very long lines of sight, either all the way back from the A bomb itself or playing inside of Cobble to where you can look all the way through that little archway room all the way back towards that top plat by top green. It's a very hard gunfight to win every single time you try to go ahead and push through it. So with an opportunity now here, both of these two teams to either go 1-1 or 2-0. This is obviously round 11 being the greatest and most notorious round in Call of Duty.
Absolutely. The tension here could be cut with a knife as J-Tide breaks the silence with a kill onto Gazilli there, as he will put the immediate numbers advantage in favor of Living Nightmare. And now at this point, if you're WaveRunners, you need to play very well together and play a little bit more aggressive here, because 45 seconds already ticked away in this round, and you've made absolutely no semblance of pressure towards that B site. Everybody from Living Nightmare trying to watch every angle possible, as Quicks here now on your screen did manage to see one cross. Nefarious, though, laying down here in the back. A big entry kill for the side of WaveRunners, is now hell is raining down on Living Nightmare, as Nefarious will be able to trade off one, but will die immediately in response. 2-1. Now the numbers in favor of WaveRunner, as the bomb will go down, and will Hoya see J-Tide here? He will, but will not win the gunfight. Oh my God. This is a 1v1 crazy situation. Round 11, WaveRunners have put the bomb down. J-Tide versus Tar Heel, the two leading killers here in the lobby. Let's see what happens.
Fitting way to end the game here. Tar Heel now can just play his life over towards the top box. Player number 2 in J-Tide looking to push up through the arch side. Not going to get some good timing potentially. J-Tide finds him from behind. Clutches the 1 versus 2 after absolutely ripping one of the players from the side of WaveRunners off of that top crate over by A. Beautiful way to end the game. A little teabag for a fashion show at the end as well. Shifty, 6-5 victory. Round 11 win and a great morale boost for the side of Living Nightmare as they tie the thing up 1-1.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw some crazy shots here from Tar Heel as they pushed out and was able to even trade on the third player here in Nefarious. However, the positioning and the gun skill from J-Tide just too strong. And of course, unfortunately, that bad timing there is Tar Heel turning around at quite literally the worst possible time that he could have. That's the best part about caster vision, though, isn't it?
Right.
Like we can see it happen, like while it's going on. Like I may or may not have cringed a little bit when he turned back around. I was like, oh no, he's gonna get caught, isn't he?
It hurts because, you know, you play the game for so long, you find yourself in those scenarios where you're like, oh, I just got the worst timing in the world, and then you see it happening to somebody else, and you want to scream, you want to yell, turn around.
Yeah, turn around, yeah.
Turn around.
He's behind you.
And it's like, and then you don't turn around, and it's just like, well, yeah, it is what it is. But that does set us up for at least 4 games here in this best of 5 series. We're going to be going to a raid control here for map number 3 in just a few short moments. But folks, if you're just now joining us, 250 to 177 was the score for the first hardpoint. WaveRunners did take that in really a dominant fashion, more so than the scoreboard would show. And then, of course, if you did not get to see that round 11 there, 6-5 for the side of Living Nightmare, they tie things up 1-1. And again, that's where we are now leading with, for our game number 3, Control Search and Destroy. Control on raid, and that is going to be a specialty, as we saw the side of the WaveRunners take that first map on raid itself. So they're going back to the map they've already won.
Yeah, it has to be a sense of comfort here for the side of WaveRunners, even though you drop that S&D due to some pretty poor timing there at the end. This has got to be kind of a rekindler, I think, to see this map again on the docket after you pretty much handled Living Nightmare in the first map. It's definitely something that's got to be a little bit of a sigh of relief for them, as I believe we are going to be loading up into the map here relatively shortly, as Control, definitely a game mode that is very polarizing for a lot of people. How do you feel about it? Personally, I really enjoy it. I've enjoyed it ever since Black Ops 4 brought it to the competitive scene, and I really wish that they didn't take it away from Modern Warfare. I would have loved to have Control.
Well, over domination.
Oh my God, 10 times out of 10.
I don't think
10 times out of 10.
Any challenge from any competitive Call of Duty player and or spectator to see Control return over domination. Domination did lead to some cool and close games down to the wire that sometimes were extremely hyped moments, but again, those were few and far between. The game didn't end after it was mathematically impossible to come back from, so there was so many different things that were wrong with domination. Control, on the other hand, it allows for a lot more close action, compact moments that you see a lot of hype between both of the teams for round after round after round, and even though it can last a little bit longer than domination at some points, it's usually a very action-packed throughout the entire way of it. So it's kind of like a hard point in the sense of, you know, you're respawning continuously, but it also has the ability to play like a search and destroy, to where at the end of the games you might have to play your lives and be able to capture those zones. So last time I was on here, Shifty, you asked me to break it down. I'm not going to go through that entire spiel.
You knew I was going to ask. You knew I was going to ask. I had to.
I knew it was coming. So Shifty, I'm going to give you an opportunity now. How does Control work?
So Control is a game mode that you play here on this Call of Duty Cold War, where essentially both teams are given 30 lives. You have an A point and a B point. You have an offense and a defense. The offense has to capture both points. The defense has to stop the offense from catching both points. It's really that simple. However, playing it is not that simple. Definitely multiple ways that it can be played. I'm glad that you brought up too how as the game winds down and we get closer to the end of the rounds, it begins to be a little bit more like a search and destroy, or a team deathmatch, if you will, where teams will begin to slow down and play their lives as opposed to playing for the objective. As speaking of lives, WaveRunners with the immediate 1-kill advantage, as Nefarious there will mitigate that. Now 23 respawns remaining, as Living Nightmare trying to get at least the first third here of Alpha before that timer ticks down too far. As a great retake there from WaveRunners, though, as 3 will die from Living Nightmare. That's not a good position to be in.
June, AR in hand, looking for a couple more players from Living Nightmare to potentially push over towards the A site. However, they're not going to go ahead and do that. They're going to be playing this over towards the B site, and this is actually going to allow them to have a ton of control over towards B, not just because they're pushing through it with 4 players, but because everybody from the side of WaveRunners was playing through middle map. And player number 5, watch for this flank from Tar.
Oh, this is huge.
As he's coming through the back now. He's going to be able to get shots on the first player. No! Raw Dog Gerard goes ahead and Raw Dogs Tar Heel, as he is now flanked through, sniffed out, and an opportunity to go go ahead and capture the B zone. However, an opportunity now for a retake won't go through. It all falls through the floor, and so does the opportunity for WaveRunners to have control over towards this A site. Living Nightmare come through, and they completely take over the control, not only of the B site, but the entire north side of this map as it stands.
Another 400 IQ play that goes to waste for the side of WaveRunners there. How many times have we seen that in this series, especially in the last 2 maps, as Tar Heel and June trying to bounce back and put the respawn favor back in favor, or the respawn advantage back in favor of WaveRunners, as they do so by a full spawn wave at +1 as Tar Heel putting down some nice shots onto Nefarious. Quicks on your screen trying to get away, as this A point so heavily contested and can be so easily challenged from so many different angles, as I thought Quicks was about to turn and burn onto June there, but no dices. Again, this A site very difficult to attain a lot of control of, no pun intended, as we see Living Nightmare finally able to break over towards A and get at least 2 bodies in that hill. Let's see the pinch that is inevitable from WaveRunners here.
I love, Shifty, that you brought up that point about how this A zone is extremely hard to go ahead and control if you're on the offensive side of things. Now, as Hoyas is on a 5 streak, it does not go unnoticed. 6-2 here inside of the game, as he's now going to be looking over towards that ramp side and back over towards bottom art. Playing this top head glitch over towards the A control side is extremely big. However, as he gets gunned down from the water stairs, this is going to leave the side of WaveRunners in a peculiar situation. Here's the sheer fact that now there's players pushing up through middle map and pillars. There's players pushing through from behind, but it won't matter as 3 go down. June finds 2. He's got help of his teammate, and Hoy is there for another kill. He's going to push them all the way back off to the spawn block, back over towards the garage side. This allows them to now push up. The A control site not going to be contested whatsoever, at least for the time being. 6 seconds left. Now make it 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. No contests come through. No players able to find the kills. WaveRunners take round number 1 here inside of the control, and they continue their hard point and control respawn dominance that we've seen thus far all day long.
Well, and again, you're totally right. That's a firm display of dominance from the side of WaveRunners. However, one thing that I noticed is we saw them set up very similarly towards that statue when we were watching that hard point. We have a team here from WaveRunners that is very, very good at influencing the spawns on this map, and we saw that in full effect there as WaveRunners went on a 6-kill streak there towards the middle half of that first round. So again, 1-0 now in favor of WaveRunners, as now they will be on the offensive. And again, we know how difficult offense can be on this map, as we'll see Living Nightmare play very passively up here towards the top window. Will get peeled from Hoyas, is now a auto already. Almost a half of the first third. That would make it 1/6, by the way. Of the way through, is that first third will get progressed, is now WaveRunners sitting pretty here.
Yeah, this is huge for WaveRunners, because we talked about how, you know, last time the side of Living Nightmare was pushing over towards B. This time the side of WaveRunners go to A right off the rip. They're
My God, bro.
Over to the point, and they're going to take that immediately.
That was so fast.
So now, with only 10 lives wiped off the board and only 9 for the side of Living Nightmare wiped off the board, we've got 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock here for the side of WaveRunners to make a play. Living Nightmare can play this one a little bit more passively if they want to. However, they've got to make sure that same aggressive push from the side of WaveRunners can't come through. But Quicks finds 3 quick kills over towards B, sends WaveRunners back to spawn. This is going to allow them to clump up and make a coordinated push back over towards B. However, they completely force them across the map, and this is going to allow them to have a little bit more time before this push commences once again.
Ooh,
Jesus Christ.
That breathing room accentuated there from June's kill. Up in money room as he's continuing to rain down hell on Living Nightmare, but 2 kills will come through as June's still alive, but Quicks will trade that off again, immediately putting the map advantage back in favor of Living Nightmare, as Nefarious here coming through middle and making a little flanky flank here.
Up the staircase, Nefarious there. Naded out immediately as I talk about him taking plays, but middle map, Tar Heel control still. They've got 1 tick over towards B, looking for the last 2. They only have a minute and 19 seconds to do it, but they've only are down by 2 respawns in general terms. So Nefarious will be looking over towards Gazilli to make a push through the backside here, and we talked about those long respawns the last time about this. Now they're 3 down. June pushing towards, the players hopping in towards the hill. 3 players inside. The progress will be going extremely quickly, and now now it's going to be Shifty, the opportunity for them to push through, but they've got to go now. They've got to fly. They've got to get back towards the point. They've got every player contested. WaveRunners take round number 2. They're now up 2-0 inside of the control, and an opportunity not only at match point here inside of the control, but an opportunity to go ahead up 2-1 in the series with the chance to take the hard point and then close this thing out 3-1. Like, they're definitely feeling they should have been able to close out in a 3-0 fashion after that search and destroy just did not go in their favor.
My God, one thing that is really important to call out is the cohesion that we saw WaveRunners play with there at the end.
Yes.
We saw the two-piece come through the window. We saw all 4 members of WaveRunners converge onto that point from all different angles. Very, very solid execution there to open up that pool side to actually get onto B. Is again now Living Nightmare back on the offensive. Some key shots going on over towards June, but Gazilli was able to sneak into the side. He knows Quicks is back behind. Nice trades from Nefarious, though, as Tar Heel will snag 2 of his own, and Hoyas defending the B site all by his lonesome currently. Nice shots there from June. My God, he's on a roll.
Did you see that player's body stretched out inside of the
No, I
clutch?
didn't.
Bro's heel was in the right corner of the window, and then in the laundry machine was the rest of his body.
Nice. Nice. That's what we love to see. Nice.
It's just little things that trip me up like that, dude. Like, it could be crazy, but Target on a 7 looks to go ahead and make it an 8, and if I can bring attention to it, he falls immediately. So Caster's curse, maybe the production curse, as we were brought to that attention by our wonderful producer here in the background, and you know, he's just
Hashtag blame Connie.
hashtag blame Connie, but hashtag Connie sexy in the chat too.
Oh, love it. Again, that progress finally ticking in favor of Living Nightmare here as they will snag the first third of A, but we'll get that second third progress immediately wiped off as June and Hoyas will continue the tear down into the spawn of Living Nightmare, but Hoyas now by himself as his teammates did fall around him. He did not see the player to his left as Nefarious will take him out. As again, we're seeing a very close battle in the respawn games, but Living Nightmare just not able to get and attain the position as fast as WaveRunners has been. But Gerard now trying to make me eat my words with 2 of his teammates as they will finish the capture of A and extend this game by another minute.
Good for them as well, because not only are they only down by 1 life here, but they add an extra minute back onto the clock. And one of the things, folks, if you're not completely sure how control is played, every time you capture an A or a B zone, there's an extra minute added onto the clock for your team to go ahead and make another offensive push towards either the A or the B sites. So now with the A site being controlled, the B site is going to be held down by WaveRunners, and they are continuing to put on the pain and tear through the side of Living Nightmare as they continuously find kill after kill, trade after trade. J-Tide, the last one alive, really might have actually got some unfortunate timing. Turns around, sniffs his toes, and says, "Come here, daddy," but isn't able to find the kill.
He says, what now?
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, he did. He sniffed his toes. He got a real good whiff of them bunions and said, "Come here, daddy." As we see now B getting captured by the side of Living Nightmare. But my God, how quickly have they turned this around, though? As A, it looked like it took them forever to get in and actually have some type of presence there. As Hoyas, really the only one to make a play, did not hit his bullets, though, as Gazilli and Tar Heel will be able to clean up the slack for the side of WaveRunners. Yeah, no kidding. That was a rough set of shots there. As speaking of rough shots, that was not it from Gazilli there, as he will heal him as Nefarious drops again. The control going in favor of WaveRunners as it was a 1 versus 10 theoretically there, as WaveRunners will finalize that victory 3-0 and extend their lead in the series to 2-1.
Shifty, give me a 1 versus 10 versus these guys. I'm winning it every single time.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you. I actually believe in you wholeheartely.
Wholeheartedly?
Yeah, wholeheartedly. I would put all of the money that I own on you.
Oh, I don't know about all that noise.
No.
Let's calm down just a bit. Because, no.
He's like, whoa. Too much faith in me, buddy.
A little too much there, but as we get ready to look towards our our 4th and potentially final map here in this best of 5 series, we're going to be going back to Garrison. I know, variety kind of series, but it kind of feels like we're playing World War II again with the map variety that we've got going on in this best of 5.
Don't even bring back PTSD flashbacks like that for me.
London Docks. London Docks.
Oh, God, I know.
London Docks. Followed by
Ardennes
Saint Marie. Saint Marie.
USS Texas.
And then if you're lucky, you might get a USS Texas.
Yeah, might get a Texas.
I don't know how lucky that would be, but
yeah, nobody liked USS. I actually did kind of like USS Texas. It wasn't a very good S&D map. Yeah, but I mean,
honestly, I kind of
it was all right.
S&D was fun.
I didn't like how it had multiple height levels, though. That was the verticality was what always threw me off. Like, especially, what was it, the B site that was over towards the top, like observatory area of the boat? Yeah. Was it the B site? Yeah, I always hated that because I always lost every gunfight I was in over there.
I feel you in a way, but USS Texas, at least in my opinion, it kind of played the same every map, but extremely different, if that makes sense. Because, like, you would have your sniper play over towards B, but then you'd also have a potential sniper play over towards A. Mm-hmm. But the smokes that were used throughout the entirety of the year made that map so diverse. And that's kind of why I'm upset about the smokes being G8. I know that they're in a really bad spot right now for the sheer fact that there's one-way smokes in the game. And, folks, if you don't know what one-way smokes are, essentially what that means is the smokes are only going one way. So it's like a one-way glass mirror to where you can see from the inside of something through something, and then the other side would be a mirror. Shut up, Hunter. Shut up. Shut up. No,
if you're unaware of what a one-way smoke is, it's a smoke that's one way.
No, so I said one way like a mirror. Okay, it's important that you take a like with the symbol I was using there, and the comparison that I was using between
so
the
funny.
two, Hunter. Okay. If I don't like being bullied. This is kind of rude.
Yo, so here's a hot take for you though. Do you think that? So I was just thinking about this, actually making the comparison because of the underground layer of Texas. You know what it kind of reminds me of playing S&D on? It kind of reminds me of playing S&D on Sovereign in Ghosts. Yeah, I mean, it was a terrible map, but it reminds me a lot of that with the whole where the bombs were located and the 3-level sort of gameplay. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. I liked Surge. I liked Surge.
Good game for competitive.
Blitz.
God.
Blitz was awesome.
Okay,
we
Blitz
need to bring
fun.
Blitz back.
Blitz was just fun
ASAP.
to watch because dude, literally you could literally not get like any kills in the map and still win just because you could play like that. And that would definitely help with inside of this game, especially with all the rat plays and all the rat spots that you can get. But Hunter, it is time to go ahead and find ourselves here in the hard point, and right over towards the cruddy spot will be Quick playing in towards the hill. Tar Heel will find the first blood of the game, and this will start things off. Now WaveRunners pushing through. They're going to keep these spawns, or at least try to maintain these spawns for P2 while getting as much time as no one is.
Absolutely is. Right now, Living Nightmare squeaking by with a very, very, very slight lead as we have both teams again in and around the hard point as J-Tide searching for the opposite player, but Gazilli will be able to pick up 2. Nice shots there from him as Gerard, last one to make a play for Living Nightmare, as he will do so with the help of a teammate now who has come to the rescue. That was J-Tide, as again now he lays down in the hard point. But again, I think you're right. WaveRunners still not in a terrible position here as they really and truly still kind of have this right side, or this left side rather, map control. As we will see Tar Heel get prepared for P2. We're going to see him hop up on this satellite here and see what's what. Is everybody from Living Nightmare going to be pushing through the middle?
They've got a great hold on this point as well. Look at player number 7. Well, I was about to point out June as he got gunned from there from J-Tide. But playing over towards that brick side and over towards square here is a huge play and a huge hold that you need in terms of power positions for your roster, for the sheer fact that a lot of players from Living Nightmare not only are going to be coming through middle map to try and flank around through there, but we talked about it in the search and destroy, how difficult it is to push out through green over towards satellite to make that break work. And as you see the trades come through back and forth, WaveRunners will continuously hold strong here. However, they've only got about 10 seconds off that point plus the scrap time, so they'll get about total 35 seconds at a time, so that is the majority of the time there. However, Living Nightmare are going to walk away from this one not only with spawns, but an opportunity to go ahead and maybe find themselves with the first 15 to 20 seconds of time uncontested.
However, though, we know how dangerous that can be. We saw Living Nightmare play for the scrap time in the first hard point, and we'll see if they can change up that strategy, as again we see them get the early rotation. WaveRunners have been so strong at breaking these hard points together, though, as You see Gazilli on your screen. Going to be hitting towards the front side. Will pick up one great kill there from Gazilli as June and the rest of the WaveRunners are making a huge push here. Quicks last alive to make anything happen in and around the hill as he will be able to pick up June, but he is getting sniffed out here by Hoyas. It looks like he might be able to finish him off again. Play and ring around the rosy as just like that, we see WaveRunners again break the hill.
Well, that's the
yeah, immediately broken back.
Living Nightmare comes right back, and you know, one of the things there, right, that I saw is WaveRunners, when they broke that hill, Living Nightmare did not have any ARs on power positions whatsoever. It was just a flurry of WaveRunner players who flew up through the hill so quickly that it literally left Living Nightmare no time to react whatsoever to get their ARs on head glitches or power positions, and they were just able to break through completely and utterly within the span of like 5 to 10 seconds. However, as we get ready to look over here towards the trash can hill, though, it is going to be the WaveRunners who do get those early rotational hill time spawns. The question is, Hunter, the question is, Shifty, will the side of Living Nightmare be able to go ahead and find themselves a break for the first time here on a hill on the side of WaveRunners for more than 15 seconds at a time?
That's going to be the tell of the tale here as we see some players from Living Nightmare looking to do just that, but single-handedly getting picked apart by June as he snags a third as well. Tar Heel completing the full team wipe as everybody from Living Nightmare back up on the respawn, and my goodness, did they spawn way out there, as now they're going to have to traverse basically the entirety of the middle of the map to try and get another challenge in. At this point, you just got to chalk it and rotate.
Oh, 4 down for the side of Living Nightmare. WaveRunners continuously continuing their continuous reign of terror. I tried to get as many in there at the same time.
That was clever. Yeah, that was clever. Yeah, that was clever. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
They'll push out the map now. They've got spawns for P5. They have the ability to go ahead and hold this side of the map down. Now it's just going to be about if Living Nightmare can push past that 50% way of the map and then potentially spawn back behind them over towards those P2 spawns that we always talk about. But no, WaveRunners will continuously spawn there. Pushing back towards middle map, though. Not yet. June. Almost able to find Quicks, but shots aren't there. 103, 64, 35 seconds left on this point. We're getting ready to go ahead and rotate back towards the first set of hard points once again.
Bit of a stagnant moment here on the map as WaveRunners content, I believe, with where they're at and maybe trying to get one more maybe desperation push as they will do so on the back of Gazilli. Nice kills there as he looks for the third. Will get traded off by J-Tide there, though, but that is helpful for the WaveRunners, stopping Living Nightmare from soaking up the last 15 to 20 seconds of that hill. Great job from them. As again, we will see the second set of rotations come to fruition here as Hoyas on your screen will get dropped as we have Gerard outside now as Tar Heel will pick that one up. The new hardpoint has popped initially in favor of Living Nightmare, but how long will they be able to hold it?
Nefarious now an opportunity for a flank here, but the player in the window in Oasis will be able to take down that first kill. That could have been a spectacular play there on a flank from Nefarious. However, it was just too little, too late when he hopped up through the window because he wasn't able to check that right side corner. So Gazilli with some beautiful shots there on a raw dog Gerald. Did I say Gerald? Gerald. I'm sorry, Gerard. I'm so sorry.
Gerald.
I
Gerald.
I just got gunned by a dude named Gerald.
Yeah. Gerald. I'm sorry to anyone who's named Gerald. That just kind of that's rough. But either way, as Tar Heel on your screen is going to get pieced by Quicks there. As again, we look at Living Nightmare again, playing these early rotations really well, but just losing a lot of the gunfights is June. Oh my god, picking Quicks off without the height advantage and the head glitch is now Nefarious stuck with the entire team running directly for him. It's just like that. We see full control of this hill go back over to WaveRunners again, but Living Nightmare definitely still in this game as 10 points now be the deficit.
Love this little aerial cam here. As now we see 3 players from the side of WaveRunners playing over towards that front side. Now breaking through the front, it's going to be Living Nightmare through top green. And again, this is why it's so hard to break through here, Shifty. June finds 2. Gazilli flies in just like the manhammer he is. Finds the player in top green. Now they can push all the way over towards P3 with the flying force of Tangled Men. As now Tar Heel oh, I thought he got the kill. No,
yeah, me too. I'm sure he did too.
Spit on.
J-Tide here looking to continue the spitting of these WaveRunner players as Nefarious and Co will be able to pick up some entry kills here towards the next hard point as P3 for the second time going to initially get controlled by Living Nightmare. And man, this has been the tale of both of these hard points. Living Nightmare doing a great job rotating, but just losing all of their individual gunfights due to shots like that. My goodness, Tar Heel is on some stuff.
Gazilli, where did that come from? The beams at long range, not even with Task Force killing him that quickly. And now as Tar Heel will be found from behind, the side of WaveRunners will now spawn over towards the next hard point. And however, Hunter, even though there's still 25 seconds left of time, Living Nightmare can go ahead, not only potentially find the rest of the scrap time, rotate on over, and maybe extend the lead by a little bit of time here too.
Yeah, just like that. They lost that opportunity, though, thanks to a heads-up play from Gazilli. Was able to stop the rest of that scrap time going in as Tar Heel will turn and burn on 2 players from Living Nightmare. Great job from him as, my goodness, what some nice shots. As we see, again, Trash Can Hill coming into full effect as WaveRunners already there. We see Living Nightmare trying the same break strategy that failed them the last time we were on this, as Nefarious will hop up to his doom. Tar Heel making it 2 again. He's on a 4-kill streak right now. This man is on a mission.
Well, we saw Tar Heel. He was the one that pushed over towards Dark for P3, and we ended up saying he was the one who got spit on. Now he's showing the spit shine to the sign of Living Nightmare, as now Tar Heel with an opportunity to go ahead and find 6. Player over towards top bridge might get the best of him, but no. Player hidden in his teammate will go ahead and find that trade. Now it's an opportunity to fly through middle map.
7. Make it 7.
Makes it 7. Can he go ahead and find 8? Oh, runs out of bullets in the Krig there at the end, and that is going to cut them down and cut things shy. WaveRunners, however, on the backs of Tar Heel there with that 7 spree, it is going to be the side of them now being able to have about a 30-point lead as we get ready to make those rotations back over towards P5, and they've already got themselves set up. One good hold here could put them about 20 to 30 seconds away from getting that win from this side of Living Nightmare, not only in the hard point, but the series in a 3-1 fashion. However, it's got to go ahead and find that time first. Living Nightmare an opportunity to go ahead and push through the map. They've got to get there fast, though, as they spawn behind them!
Huge, crazy spawn. Yeah, that's weird. As the spawns will get flipped somehow miraculously. I didn't manage to see from WaveRunners who pushed too far past that middle map line, but the fluky Call of Duty spawns giving the immediate advantage to Living Nightmare, but immediately that advantage dissipates due to some nice team breaks there from WaveRunners, and Hoyas and June, as now they are last alive over towards this hill. Now June by his lonesome is going to have a swarm of Living Nightmare players coming, and they will drop him. An attempt to try and steal the rest of this scrap time here, which again, we're still seeing that play style from them. The first 15 maybe go towards them, maybe the last 10. But again, there's a whole lot of time in the middle there that you're missing.
That was a huge bit of scrap time, but look at player number 6 who just spawned up. Gazilli gets the spawns behind him, so now as his teammates are going to be spawning back over towards P3, this is going to allow for a pinch play opportunity here. Raw Dog might be able to get taken down up towards top green, however, is able to play with his life, but this is going to allow things to be a little bit more chaotic than it might have seemed. Living Nightmare are going to spawn towards the north side of the map, now over towards the right side of the map, going to be pushing back towards P1. WaveRunners can go ahead and win off of this hard point. However, Living Nightmare, what was so good about this beforehand was that they were spawning over towards those P5 spawns to where they could get P1 control and then have P2 as well. Now with one person left alive on the side of WaveRunners, it allows Living Nightmare an opportunity to go ahead and get in towards this point. However, they've got to go now with just 10 seconds left for WaveRunners to go ahead and win the game. The rotations over towards the next point are oh so crucial too, as players 4 and 7 are going to have a one-on-one gunfight that could decide the fate of this game. June takes the kill. Now it's players from Living Nightmare on an opportunity to now flank this player over towards
look
the
at the
satellite
spawns
side. And this is crazy now, Hunter, because they're going to have a one-on-one gunfight here towards the front. As over 2 go down, it's going to be huge, it's going to be tough, it's going to be scary.
Yeah, Hoyas there taking 2 kills with him as WaveRunners now will open up the hill for at least a brief moment. 3 players from Living Nightmare pushing up will get stopped by Tar Heel single-handedly. Gazilli now helping him as well. As again, we will see this map wind to a close. Congratulations to the WaveRunners as they take the series 3-1. Living Nightmare showing some life at the end of that S&D, but unfortunately, runaway respawns for the most part. I mean, that was a 50-point respawn, but again, it was something that I think it was the way that WaveRunners were playing so confidently. They were challenging everything. They had great trades the entire time. So even though the score looked close, honestly, it wasn't.
I think what it comes down to, Shifty, is we highlighted it obviously on that 7 spree that Tar Heel had. I think that's where the game was decided on.
Yeah.
Because not only did they have, again, it was a close game at that point still. It was about a 10 to 15 point game there. And then when Tar Heel went on that 7 spree, they were able to hold down the majority of P4 over towards trash side of the map. And then they were able to have those rotations towards P5. And when they had that line of defense at that 50% mark of the map, they were able to hold them all the way back across to where then obviously they were able to just go ahead, get a little bit of time in P1 and then fight for P2 scrap time and then win the map off of that. So again, nothing that we can say about WaveRunners except they played together well. However, Living Nightmare, again, they turned up at the end. And that was the most important part because after that S&D, they got the confidence to go ahead and play. At least they played the control close for the majority of the time. But when we got back to that hardpoint, they were really they were trying to show themselves and show their potential that they have in hardpoint against the side of the WaveRunners. And they did a very damn good job of it. It just came down again to a little too late from the side of Living Nightmare as WaveRunners go ahead not only take the hard point, but they take the series 3-1.
Yeah, great job. GG's all around. Thank you to K7 and everybody that makes this possible. Innovated Gear, GitGudHosts, DropShotStats. Thank you, Connie, for filling in here and running our observing and running the production. You do a phenomenal job. Really good job all around. Thank you, Korn, for joining me and making this cast something that is always very memorable. I love you very much so, as we have I've had a hell of a time. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. It was a great series. Truthfully, a lot of close moments, a lot of reactions that will definitely be making it into both of our reels. I am positive of that.
Shifty?
It's the worst part.
It has been a fun night. It has been a fun time. But unfortunately, folks, that is going to show us to the conclusion of this K7 preseason hype battle. If you guys haven't done so already, go ahead and follow the YouTube channel. Or I guess subscribe to the YouTube channel here at K7, as we will be streaming matches throughout the entirety of the season once that goes ahead and kicks off here very shortly. Also, go ahead and follow the K7 League on Twitter as well as myself at McCormill and at ShiftyHJP on Twitter. But again, as I said beforehand, that is going to draw us to the close of this broadcast. Shifty went over the beautiful production side, and I want to go one more time and say hashtag Connie so sexy. But with that being said, folks, thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for being here. And of course, stay safe. And we'll see you here soon, not only for another K7 preseason hype battle, but for the start of the K7 League here soon.
That was disgusting. Oh my God, June. Oh.
Absolutely devastating.
He's actually in a really good spot for his teammate to watch over him and give him assistance, but no one really watching the main run-up. And oh, what a trophy system collateral kill!
Oh, they gotta get on the point. They gotta get on the point. They're gonna run out of time. Can they contest? They are with 1.4 seconds. And Phil is going to go down. We are going to be seeing him now. No, out of the point. And WaveRunners by the skin of their teeth. They're going to be able to hold on.
Can he play from horse? Oh, holy. He's going to get another one.
As Hoy will quick scope heavy.
Not necessarily translate to control the bottom lane, as Legacy just being an absolute nuisance here with his team just getting such a map control here.
Kill is gonna get hustled down to 2v2. They should have had the man up, and now Austin feels pretty good to get one. He's gonna look for the double, can't quite get it. Zuxium, the last man alive, and now it's Zuxium trying to finish off the team. He's gonna stun in there, C1. One's gonna push out, it's gonna get taken out. Zuxium can finish it right here. 7 points left. Taking out another one. One more pushes out. He's gonna get taken out by his teammate.